Welcome to the big show.
He could go all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
What is up, everybody? How is everybody doing? Happy Thursday to you. As always, you're watching the Rundown presented by the PFA. I am Brian Mitchum, Director of Media Development. As always, with me is Chris Cousins, Director of Podcasting. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. Happy Thursday, Brian. Happy Thursday. I hope you had a good holiday weekend there, buddy. You didn't eat too much.
It wasn't bad. I did some grilling on the grill at my sister-in-law's house. Had some good food. So,
did you put some shrimp on the barbie?
No shrimp, just burgers and hot dog or burgers and brats. But still good though. Had all the good stuff. Welcome to episode 47, and we're wrapping down the season, Chris. The 2A championship last week. Congratulations, Cincinnati Hawks, for winning that 13-7 over the Flag City Phantoms. We'll go over that a little bit more later. But this is the last week of 3A coming up on Saturday, Chris, and we're going to see where the dust settles, and it could be a big dust cloud, or it could be pretty clear on what is going to be for the playoffs coming up starting next weekend.
Well, I'm a little sad. I don't know if you can tell, but I mean, it took so much to get here, and
it always does.
It's like we're 2A division ended on Saturday, the championship, and now here we are with the 3A in the final week 10, and it's like, geez, man, like it's not going to be any more football here in a little bit, and I'm not going to know what to do with myself again.
You're gonna have to learn to enjoy the break, Chris. Enjoy the break.
I can't. I enjoy the trolling. I enjoy the not to say much. I did enjoy the traveling this year. We're going to work it out a little bit better next year. But I enjoyed the traveling. I've actually been able to see the fellas live in person. Shout out to the National Players Association. Got to see Smooth a lot. You know what I mean? Got to see, Takari and the guys. So it was nice to put names with faces. You know what I mean? It was nice to actually see the people.
That's always nice, yes.
And get out there. And now it's coming to an end, man. It's bittersweet. But like you said, big games, big implications this weekend for the 3A division. And we shall see where the dust settles when it comes to who gets those buys and what games are going to be played and who's going to be hosting. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that. But we definitely had a good championship 2A game. I don't know if you was able to catch the stream, but we had a great 2A championship game, man. We had a great 2A championship game. Got to see Amanda, the GM of the year, and co-GM of the year in full action. I didn't get any snacks. Let me throw that out there. I didn't get any snacks.
Amanda, he's still upset about not getting any snacks.
I'm just saying. I picked you at the beginning of the year. Got teased, wore the shirt and everything, all that. I thought I could at least got a cutie. But she took care. She took care of her guys. It was nice to see. They were great hosts. And eScore was also in the building. Streaming the game as well. He does a great job. Shout out to him. She said Duncan. I know I couldn't leave my post. Once Brian knows, once I get up in that booth, it's pretty hard for me to come down. Okay, especially at One Hill Stadium.
We need assistance. That's why you bring our kids, because we make them do the running for us.
Listen, my son. Shout out to my son. He did a great job of assisting me all day at the event, running back and forth to the car. I left some things in there, and then making the run down to get the footage of the championship belts and things getting handed off. So yeah, shout out to Junior, man. He's been my intern.
I was wondering who that was. He was moving pretty fast. I'm like, man, Chris has got some energy tonight.
Hey, not me, sir.
It was your son. I see.
it was not me.
I thought for a minute I was getting a little motion sick from the camera bouncing around him running down the stairs, but nevertheless he got down there pretty quick. So good for him. Glad
I told him to get down there as fast as possible because Dunk does things pretty quick once he gets on the field. And so I wanted him to be down there for the trophy presentation so we can get that on the live and everything like that. So he got down there, swiftly. Caught a couple comments later on when I was reading through because I think everybody else thought it was me too. It was like it was like the rundown, the rundown. I had to run down the stairs.
Yeah,
it was like he was breathing heavy. I'm like, shoot, you run down some stairs, man. And at Walnut Hills, they got them bleachers is high. You got some stairs to get down, and it takes a lot just to get to the field, which is ridiculous. But it was a great game, man. Great game. What's up, Coach Carlos? What's going on, man?
I was watching a live stream on my way home from the country, which is where my sister-in-law lives, and I lost internet from her house until we get back to civilization. And then the next thing I know, I was watching the ceremony. So I didn't get to see the last probably minute and 30 seconds of the last part of the game, and I was like, dang it. And then I get back to it and they were lining up shaking hands. So I was like, dang, I missed the last part of it.
Like it definitely, and in totality, Brian, it definitely was a tough matchup. It was a great game. I know a lot of people wanted to see points flying here and there, but both defenses came to play. 2 turnovers by both quarterbacks. Both of them threw interceptions. See, I mean, this was not CJ's Tolly's best game. Neither was it Reese's best game either. So in this game, it kind of was like, who else is going to step up? And for the Hawks, something that they've hung their hat on all year, it was that big front five. Big front five, and that first half got the job done as far as being able to move the ball. I can tell you for a fact, Brian, I think they probably threw the ball in the first half maybe 5 or 6 times. They literally were running the ball every single play, and it was just like, we're running the ball, stop it. You know what I'm saying? It was one
right.
And I'm not gonna sit there and say that it was a bad idea, because if you can't stop what I'm doing, why go away from it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If why if you can't stop me and I'm gashing you for 4 or 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards, 4 or 5, it don't take 10 yards to get a first down.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was in my opinion, being the old lineman, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? You linked on the Hogs, had the old lineman of the year. You know what I'm saying? Ben Davis doing his thing, and then also the running back. You know what I'm saying? Caldwell was doing his thing, as well as Jennings as well was coming in there, being a nice change of pace back for him when they wanted to run outside and things of that nature. I'm not sure what the game plan offensively was for the Phantoms in the first half. They couldn't get the ball moving. They tried to do some motions. They tried to do some things that worked in the lineman game as far as like the pitch, the toss sweep, and things of that nature. But the Hawks defense was just being very scrappy and very resilient and getting 11 hats to the ball. So they weren't getting positive yardage on first and second down. I'll just be honest with you. It was a lot of third and longs.
Yeah.
But honestly, the unsung hero in this whole thing, I know the offensive lineman, they got the offensive MVP. Mr. Brooks got the defensive MVP, but the unsung hero of this game because it came down to 6 points, as you can see, and those 6 points were scored by Mr. Cullen Bradley himself, the kicker for the Hawks. He made some big time. I mean, they weren't like long. I mean, 25 yards. You know, is long in our our area of expertise at this level. But he made some timely field goals. Made some timely field goals to keep points on the board and keep the point spread where it needed to be, and let the offense not come up empty-handed. And
Right.
that ended up being basically the game right there. You see, like I said, they won by 6 points. If you don't get those field goals from Cullen, you're looking at a tie game, possibly overtime, and we can see what happens there. Let's see. I don't know. I got no MVP on D. Kicker of the year. Hey, Austin, I'm just saying. We say it all the time. Brian says, I say it. Special teams matters at this level. I don't know a lot of people who don't take it seriously, but you should. And I've won a championship because my team had a kicker, and the Hawks just won a championship because they had a kicker. So they definitely matter. I mean, and special teams, I will say this: special teams showed up in the game for both teams early. A great 50-yard punt by the Phantoms to pin them inside the 5-yard line. I know
I saw that.
Yeah, Pac Money nailed the ball down within the 5-yard line. I mean, it was great special teams going back and forth. Dre Reed, was able to get good return yards as he's done all year. But it just seemed like the Hawks separated themselves. Even after the Phantoms did make some adjustments in the second half to try to stop the run a little bit more, they went to a single high safety, put 8 in the box. Still had the 4-down lineman, but we're trying to just make it harder for him, make it harder for Caldwell to be able to see the holes. But when it mattered the most in that fourth quarter, even after, and I'm gonna say this too, because I'm never gonna tippy toe about what I said in the stream. The Hawks almost blew it. The Hawks almost blew it. Okay. They helped the Phantoms.
3 penalties, 3 personal foul penalties in a row, wasn't it?
3 personal foul penalties in a row.
They put them on the goal line. It was like 1st and goal from like the 5-yard line, and the Phantoms couldn't convert that. I don't understand why, but I wasn't there. I wasn't calling the plays, but man, you almost had it there.
I'm like, what are we?
The game.
What are we doing? I mean, that's all I could think of. Like, the game is basically out of reach at this point because of the time situation. They were struggling with time. They already had punted the ball into Phantom territory, so they have a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? In order to get a touchdown, you help them by giving them 45 yards. And AJ, if it wasn't for that bad snap on 3rd down that put them back on the 35-yard line for 3rd and goal, again, we talking about possibly going to overtime. Yeah, Zay, 1st and goal, and then ended up 4th and 35. It's crazy. That was crazy. The whole 2 minutes of events, the penalties to get them down there, and then the Phantoms not capitalizing on the penalties. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you basically helped them down. You helped us down here. We're on the 5-yard line, couldn't push it, couldn't put it in, and now we're all the way back on the 35-yard line for 4th and goal. Like Brian,
I was probably at the point where my phone, my internet died, and I couldn't see the rest of it. So, but I did catch the bad snap over Reese's head,
man,
and I thought the Hawks were going to recover that.
I thought he did recover it, but even still, like I said, with what was going on, I went to the Phantoms in Portsmouth Lion games. I saw rescore with no time left on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Throwing a touchdown. I am thinking I'm about to see deja vu over again because they got help down the field. Coach Carlos did too damn dramatic. It was, Coach. I know if I was up there feeling like that, I know you had to be feeling even worse on the field watching it because I just couldn't believe it. They literally walked down the field, bro. Walked them down the field. and then it was, the defense stood firm, and the football guys gave him a bad snap, man. Like, I
I don't
don't
know
even
where that
know,
center was snapping the ball to. I think he was trying to hit the airplane that was in the air or something because that
bro.
thing went
It
8
went
feet over
stupid
Reese's
high.
head. Like,
It went
but
stupid
anyways,
high. I'm like,
congratulations to the Cincinnati Hawks on a great season, and we'll keep everybody informed on what's going on with Nationals. I'm sure they're going to go down to Florida somewhere and play in the Nationals. So we'll definitely keep that going. And congratulations to the FCP for getting to the championship 2 years in a row, man. That's no easy
yeah, shout
task.
out to them, man.
This game went a lot better for them than last year's game. I will say that.
Yes, I will say that as well. I will say that as
It
well.
came down to execute. I think it came down to just a couple execution things. And so just both teams keep building, and they'll be great next year again too. So glad to have them in the PFA for sure.
Hey, I like when a plan comes together. I picked the Hawks at the beginning of the season, and I was right on 2-way. So cheers to pat on the back to myself.
Next game, the only other game that we had last week was the Raiders and the Commandos. Chris, this game has been publicized and advertised for I don't know how many damn months. And you're going to tell me that these Commando players showed up with 15 players and no coach. That's what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
I'm disappointed, Brian.
Can you confirm that?
I definitely can confirm that. And I'm disappointed in the fact that, we heard so many great things about the Fayetteville Commandos. We heard that, and not just from themselves. This is from other organizations that, they travel well, that, there's, class act organizations will give you a good game. They play hard, don't do any kind of dirty things, so forth and so on. So, we were, Racine, I know Jeff, we were honored to be able to fill that game, their 4th of July celebration game with a team of that magnitude. Yeah.
Right.
You get to the game, and I know Jeff, this is like this. I know Jeff probably thinks he's like in the Twilight Zone. This is the second week in a row. This is the second
First
week in a row.
The Rocket jerseys. Now it's 2 rental vans full of players, and that's it.
I know Jeff was probably like, "What the?"
I'm pretty sure Jeff said he was gonna stop being the GM and just go sell beer at the games. So,
because I mean,
especially after this last week,
there's no way. What's going on there, Rapids? There's no way, and this is just me being honest. Not even about the Commandos. There's no way you're going to play the Raiders with 16 players. I don't care how good those 16 players might be. Now, if you say like, I've been shorthanded before. I've had like 20 guys, I'm saying, 25 guys, whatever. Had enough for offense, defense, couple dudes, sprinkled in. But
right.
16 players, you're not going to even be able to compete with the Racing. And it showed from the jump. They had to go to a running clock in the second half. I don't even know how they I feel like they probably got some people out the stands, and that's how they were able to score 6 points. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
Because, that was just you just can't, man. You just can't. And so, again, Commandos, we appreciate you for taking the game. A lot of teams were offered. Let's be honest. A lot of teams were offered, and they declined, but you accepted. But I just wish you would have. I wish you would have just showed up, man. Showed up a little bit better, had some better numbers. Put up a better fight.
Definitely. That was basically an exhibition game for the Raiders. They do that every year. I saw some questions about it on Facebook, and people belly aching a little bit. Why to play in the game on the 4th of July? Racine does it every year. It's Military Appreciation Night. They do it for their town. They do it for the members of the military, current and retired, et cetera, et cetera. So great cause of a game, and what a better weekend to have a game to celebrate the military on 4th of July. So
yeah, it's one of their biggest. It's one of their biggest events. They do, like Brian said, they do it for the community. The community looks forward to it every single year that they've been doing it. So why not? This is just like when people play football on Thanksgiving. I mean, they expect football on 4th of July in Racine, and the Raiders give it to them. So kudos to Jeff and the organization for putting together that idea to give back to the community. Number one, with the game, they had fireworks, the whole 9 yards. So there's nothing wrong with them wanting to do that and keep it as a tradition. And that's what and that's why kids that grow up end up wanting to play for Racine. You know why? Because they want to play in that big game. They want to play in that 4th of July game. So
right. And AJ, you're right. You're absolutely right. The coach did let his players down. I don't know why they didn't. The coach didn't show up. I didn't. We didn't hear why or what exactly happened. But all I know is 15 players travel from there to Racine, Wisconsin, is a long drive for 15 players.
Listen, they boasted and bragged. Yeah, man, we got players in the service that play for us. That'll be.
Oh, the coach played. Mo Montana said the coach played.
Hey, I can't even be. I mean, kudos to him.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
All I heard was he didn't show. The coach didn't go up, but hey, if he played, that's, I guess.
Hey, that's pretty. That's ballsy. Okay, and that means he was trying to be there for his guys, and I can't even be mad for that. I can't even be mad for that, because I know there's been a couple of times when I was supposed to just be a coach for the Pit Bulls, and some players didn't show up, and they was like, "Hey, gonna put some pads on." You do what you do when you love the teams that you're a part of. So I mean, shout out to him for even lacing them up. I don't know how he felt after the game. I don't know how he felt after the game, but shoot, hats off to him for real. That's right, AJ. Hats off to him, because I know a lot of coaches that would have been like, no,
right,
not doing it.
With that being said, we start week 10 this week. Only 3 games left. Only 3 games this week because there's only 3 teams that are playing. Well, no, there's all 3 A teams. 5 3A teams are playing, but there's only three games. So we'll kick it off with the first game. A little bit of change came around for this game. So the Michigan Bills will be playing the Tri-City Stampede out of the MFL, I believe it is, Chris. I'm not sure of the Stampede's record. I know the Bills are struggling a little bit this year, so should be a good game. I'm going with the Bills on this to bring them home and get that Week 10 final win of the season before playoffs to get some momentum going, hopefully. What's your thoughts?
I'm with you on that one as well. I want the Bills to gain some momentum. I know they had a lot of topsy-turviness when rosters locked and everything like that, lost a lot of players. Loyalty is very big in my book. And Mikey is going through the worst of it right now with his team. But, still got to believe. You still got to believe. So I want them to, as they say, circle the wagons, since they're the Bills, circle them wagons, get a good win against Tri-City, and take some of that momentum into the playoffs. And shoot, look to upset somebody, man. Look to play spoiler. Like it's nice to play. Yeah, it's nice to play when nobody expects nothing out of you. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good feeling to play free.
Where they are in the playoffs. They won't change their seeding in the playoffs, but getting that win in the last week and going into playoffs is a big boost, I think. So
sure.
Best of luck to the Bills this weekend, coming back with that win, beat Tri-City. Next game up. No. Sorry, I didn't want that. The Ravens and the Bison, man. Right now, the Ravens are number 2 in the PFA. They're 8-1 right now. The Bison are technically number 3. So this game has some big implications on it. I mean, right now there's a 16-point differential between the Bison and the Racine Raiders. So anything can happen this weekend. The Bison upset the Ravens. I mean, that would turn things upside down, or vice versa. But we're going to see what happens when Saturday night's over with, man, and see if the Bison stay in that 3rd seed or they drop down and have to host the Bills.
Look, I need the Bison to show up. Point blank, period. Okay, you've been resting for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. Okay, you had not your fault. Okay, not your fault.
No, not at all.
Teams have forfeited, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But you should be ready to play a game by now. Okay, you should be motivated and be jumping at the jaws to try to want to hit somebody, to try to get some good plays, some good contact before we go into these playoffs. And what other place better to do it than in Detroit against the Ravens? You upset the Ravens, you're sitting in 2nd place, and you're able to actually host a playoff game. Host a playoff game in Indiana, in the PFA. That'll be big for you. So I'm expecting not the teams that I saw that took those 2 L's, not the team that's been on a 3-week hiatus. I'm expecting the team that started this season out strong and was blowing the doors off of people. That's what I'm expecting. Okay. Now, with that being said, you're still facing the Ravens. And right now, you kind of facing a wounded Raven. If I can say that correctly, Brian, you're facing a wounded Raven because they got their behinds handed to them. Let's just keep it a buck. They got their behinds handed to them by MCR, and I know they're going to be looking to try to hold their spot at number 2 so they can host a playoff game at the number 2 spot. So you're going to have your hands full. But I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. But I want to see something, Bison. I want to see what 2 weeks off looks like. Okay, you should be fresh. All right, fresh as hell. Smooth is gonna be an important game. The Ravens are coming off the L. You got Bison coming off of 2 weeks of no playing because of forfeits. Energy is gonna match energy. Somebody gotta win, somebody gotta lose. But I expect a better game, a better showing out of the Bison than what we have seen in these big time matchups that you've been playing against in the PFA.
And the question is, how will the Bison travel? They're only going. I mean, Detroit's not a short drive, but it's not a long drive.
Mm-hmm.
But will they travel well? Will they show up 50 deep? Will they show up? We don't know. We don't know how it's going to go for them. So we just know we just hope for a good game. And like I said, even if the Bison lose and they can hold the Ravens to a reasonable amount of points, even if they lose and they score a good amount of points, then it could shake up some things. So and that's definitely going to be an interesting game at the end.
And that's the answer to Sean Carey's question, because he said Raiders number 3. By record, both teams are tied with the record.
By record, both teams are tied, Sean, but the Bison have a 16-point advantage over point differential. So we go tied record, we go to point differential. So I know what the next question is going to be. The Raiders beat the Bison in the regular season. Is head-to-head. No, we don't use head-to-head unless their point differential's tied and their record's tied. Then we go to head-to-head. But in this case, they're tied record. We go to point differential. And the Bison have a 16-point difference. Now, on the website, it doesn't show that because there's no way to for some reason, it's not putting them third. But if you calculate it all up by hand, which we have commissioner and I have several times, it's a 16-point difference. So that's why I'm saying this game, even if the Bison do lose and they hold the Ravens and the Raiders lose to the Rams and they don't score a lot of points, then it could, so there's so many scenarios. I can't even think of all the scenarios right now, but there's several that can happen.
Several scenarios.
We won't know. Yeah. We won't know until Saturday night when the fat lady sings.
No.
Next game up, obviously, is big game for the Raiders, more so than the Rams. I mean, the Rams are at number 1 right now. Even if they would lose, I think they still might hold on to number 1 spot. I don't have my other screens up, so
I think this is this is not just a big game for the PFA though, Brian. This is a big game nationally. It holds a lot of national implications, and I mean that when it comes to rankings. We all know that Racing has been holding down the number 1 spot for the last several years when it comes to the rankings. Detroit Ravens have also been up there as well. Both the Detroit Ravens and the Raiders had long winning streaks. And the Ravens snapped the Racines and MCR snapped the Ravens last year. And for the Rams, this is their chance. This is their chance to, we've been kind of dancing around this conversation, but is their chance to be put into the conversation if they get this win against the Raiders. And I think, and I do believe, me personally, my opinion is, if they do beat the Raiders, they should be number 1 overall. They've already beat the Detroit Ravens twice.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Ravens, you saw what they did to the Raiders, and if the Rams win, that's it. And we just saw what the Rams did to the Ravens, so it wasn't a fluke. And I want them to get the credit where credit is due. So I think that if MCR wins this game, that they should be ranked, not only just number 1 in the PFA, but they should be ranked number 1 nationally overall, because I don't see a better team out there that has done or played the teams that they played and the competition they played and how they have won those games. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to play tough competition and win by a couple points, but they're winning by more than a couple points. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give them credit. You gotta give them credit overall, for real.
I think the Rams are going to win this game, and I just don't know by how much it could. I'm still kind of on the fence on if it's going to be a close game. If the Raiders are going to, we know the Raiders are going to travel well. They're going to show up to the game. They're not, but what Raiders are we going to see? Are we going to see the Raiders that traveled to Michigan to play the Bills and scored a lot of points? Or are we going to see the Raiders that traveled to Michigan and played the Ravens and got beat pretty badly?
Now, this is an important game for the Raiders too, as well. Like you said, with the whole thing with the Bison, the Raiders want to put up points in this game. Mind you, even if they lose, they still want to put up points, because it could change the seeding in a way. Even if, say, the Bison lose and the Raiders lose, that point differential is going to matter. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to come down to.
Yeah, point differential is going to matter. So
their records are going to be the same.
Yeah, if I'm the Raiders, I want somebody to have to come to Racine. I want to be that third. I want to be that possibly that third team, that third seeded team. I want somebody to want to come and play here during the playoffs. So it's definitely going to be a lot, and also it's definitely going to be a lot for the Raiders to try to show that you take wins and you take losses, but it always matters. You win when it matters most, and you want to take some momentum going into the playoffs. And like Smooth said, the Raiders are pissed. This is going to be a great game, and what way better to show how good you are as a program, as an organization, but to beat the reigning defending champ. who's undefeated.
And that would definitely shake up things if they could pull out an upset win over the Motor City Rams. So let's face it. I mean, they're the underdogs coming into this game. They're not number one anymore. The Rams are number one. They're the kings of the PFA right now. So Racine's looking for that upset. I'm sure of it. You know, they can upset the Motor City Rams. They'll shake up some stuff. Really good Saturday night going into next week for the playoffs. So a lot of great scenarios, Chris, and a lot of exciting things can happen. So everybody tune in on Saturday for the games and make sure you catch the scores and highlights and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to the show next week.
Who you got winning though, Brian?
I got the Rams winning. I just don't know if it's going to be a close or be a blowout. I feel like the Raiders are going to hold them a little close, maybe. Still gonna be like someone said in the chat, 2-score game, but is it going to be 35-14 or 35-21 or?
I got the Rams winning, and I got the Rams making a huge statement. So I'm gonna go out here on the limb, and I'm gonna say they're gonna win by more than 14.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they're gonna win by more than 14, because I only base that off, and I base that clearly off of what I saw the Ravens able to do to the Raiders. And then I saw what the Rams were able to do to the Ravens. So I gotta think with Future being in his bag of tools again, his magic bag, he's gonna like he locked in. He's gonna pull out some magic. And yeah, I think they make a statement to everybody, not just to the PFA, but to everybody that the Rams are here. And the Rams are going to be here, and you're gonna have to see them. So I got them by more than 14. So I'll take them by 21.
Okay.
I'll take them by 21.
I know
the Raiders. I know that should motivate the Raiders, but hey, just calling as I see it, man.
Yep. That's all for our preview for Week 10 of the 3A, and make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll be dropping we might drop the candidates for the 3A awards or the actual awards. Just depends on how quick we get the stats in and finalize, so me and Chris can go through and make our selections. So
see, Mo already laughing.
Hey, at least he has a sense of humor.
Hey, Mo, prove me wrong, Mo. Prove me wrong. I don't mind. I just got a feeling.
Won't nobody put 30 on that Raiders defense? Man, Vincent, where you been? The Ravens put 30 up on there, didn't they? Didn't the Raiders? Yeah. I don't know. If anybody can put 30 up on them, it's going to be the Rams. So we'll see.
We definitely shall see. Hey, Mo, it's all love, baby. You know that. I got number love for all the teams of the PFA. But I got to pick a winner. I got to ride with the champ, dog. I got to ride with the champ. But, hey, next week, too, Brian, we probably might drop the 2A. We're not going to leave you guys out. We still got to do the 2A all-pro team selections. We will only be doing 2 teams this year. We only have 3 teams, so we only need to do 2 teams. So we'll definitely me and Brian will definitely be getting together and doing that and making those team selections and letting you guys know about that as well next week. So everybody have a great game.
You're right, Gary. You're right, Gary. They only scored 27 on you guys. I forgot. That was a couple weeks ago, man. It's been a long month for me, so I'm forgetting stuff. But anyways,
Smooth said don't bet no money with Mo.
I wouldn't bet nobody with any of them. What are you talking about? Maybe Mike Cash. No, I still wouldn't bet money with Mike Cash. I just don't bet. I'm just not very good at it. So I don't go to the casino.
Hey, Gary, I'm not gonna lie. Gary, I'm not gonna lie. I had plans to be there, but I got family comes first, and I got family obligations. So the rundown will not be in attendance at this game. I had already like pre-scheduled this like a while back to spend some time with my kids. So I do apologize. I will not be at the game, but I will definitely be watching the game for sure while I'm at the function I'm supposed to be at. But that's why I said next year I'm gonna try to, when I get the schedule, I'm gonna try to plan a little bit better. Plan a little bit better and try to make sure I'm at the big marquee matchups. But Gary said, but yeah, hey, y'all host Racine, playoffs coming. Gary, you said you've been saying win when it matters. So I will be at the championship game. That's a fact. So whether it's in Detroit or whether it's in Racine, it's still up to debate. So only you can determine that. So I definitely will be at the championship game. So if you there, I'm gonna see you. If you're not, I'll see you next year.
That's going to do it for tonight's show. I thank everybody for tuning in and apologize again for the technical difficulties. Facebook was being a jerk for a minute there, but catch us next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. for the rundown, episode 48. As always, I'm Brian and my partner Chris. Catch us if you can.